You're tuned into the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 148 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am Maja's 7th. I make extremely dope beats that are priced very well, if I do say so myself. Across the way from me, the one and only Lonegevity music producer, production / Ableton professor, and founder of Bringing Down the Band. How are you, sir?
Great. I don't know if I'd call myself a professor necessarily.
I don't know, man. You put me on game a lot, so.
Well, it is my job.
Yeah,
but
you're pretty good at what you do, brother. You're pretty good at what you do.
Thank you. I'm doing all right. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Continue to kick the truth to the young youth. I didn't want to say young black youth.
Yeah, I was waiting for you. Yeah. I am.
Across the table, as always, fresh to death, DJ, also founder of Bringing Down the Band, co-founder, if you will.
Is he though?
Not really.
You weren't. I mean, you were there early though. Maybe after you got it off the ground. You weren't a few people that were there from the jump. Early
contributor.
Early contributor. We'll do that then, okay? Because Lone did get it popping.
Brand representative of sorts.
For a long time, too. We appreciate you, brother. DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
What's good, son?
How you doing?
I'm Darren.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm Darren. Good to see Good to see you as always.
Pumpkin Spice about to be back in effect, so
say it again now.
Get real basic out here.
I feel you, man. I feel you. To my immediate left, filling in for the incomparable DJ Spoolz, former radio personality, master of ceremonies, voice of Indianapolis, my man Jay Moore. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Doing real well. Just happy to be here. You know, like to fill in and talk my ish.
I see you. Like that shirt, too. That shirt is fresh. I see
That's the original Crenshaw.
Yeah.
It's in Lakers colors, I figure.
Yeah.
Why not?
And shouts to Spoolz because he'll be married next time.
Yes.
Yeah. So
next time we talk.
Yeah. Congratulations to the homie. It's gonna be a good time. 𝐀𝐄𝐃 is here as well, rocking his Malcolm X glasses. We see you, sir.
What you trying to kick knowledge?
Yeah, he definitely looked 25, 30 years older. We see you over there, brother. Red August is in the building doing his thing as always, enhancing the product that we put out for you all. So. Yeah, let's go ahead and get it popping. Episode 148. So, I thought this was interesting. That sound like Knight Rider. Don't do that.
I've been doing Knight Rider for 100 episodes at least.
I like that.
Never catch it.
That was better though. His was better.
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looked more. He's closer to Michael Knight than you are.
Really?
And Kit. I'm sorry.
I
Kid
used
was
to have
black.
the car.
Kid was black.
He was. Michael Knight was white as the moon, brother.
But Kid made the sound
it
and
don't
he
matter.
was black.
It don't matter.
And honestly,
I
we
literally
could
had
have
the
done
car.
without
though.
Michael Knight. I could have just watched
that,
the
what
car.
you say? Say it again.
I
Say it
literally
again.
had the car.
There it is.
Like I had the digital dash
He
87
actually
Trans
had,
Am.
for sure.
It talked.
Yep.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
So that's why it's closer, because he had the whip. I remember the whip. That's all.
That has nothing to do with it. The people listening don't know that.
They don't.
They know that Michael Knight was white and Kid was black. Kid made the sound and Kid was black. Simple as that.
Thank you.
You know what blew
He
my
did have the
mind
car,
is
though.
when I found out that the voice of Kit was also Mr. Freeney from
Man.
Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Put Red August on some game right
It's
there.
like the more you know.
And as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, wow, it was him.
Yo, I'm still tripping at, before we get into the rundown, I'm
Kid-
still tripping. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Kid was extra educational.
Kid was that dude on the low.
Freeney was on Magnum PI first too.
Who?
Yeah.
Mr. Freeney.
Oh, okay.
And
Feeney, isn't it?
I don't know.
Feeney is his
Is it
name.
Feeney or
Yeah.
Freeney?
There was
Feeney.
do y'all,
I think it's
do y'all
Feeney.
remember that episode where Kit helped out New Edition because they was trying to earn extra money?
Wow.
No, I remember that.
You making
don't.
up shit now.
No,
I don't
it
know
was-
about that.
it was
He
man.
had a
after they-
dream about it.
After they kicked Bobby Brown out the group, there was
yeah.
Ralph and them was trying to talk to the car, be like, "Hey, play some music for us." It was very 80s and very corny.
I don't know about that, man.
Was it like one of them Friday night weird specials you used to
No,
come on
it
randomly?
was no, it was an episode of
Hey,
Knight
𝐀𝐄𝐃,
Rider.
can you see if you can find Knight Rider post Bobby Brown?
Yeah, look up-
edition.
No, it would have to be the
new-
right search would be Knight Rider New Edition.
It ain't gonna be on there, but I want you to see if you can find it. I don't believe that one.
How could I? I'm a creative, but I'm not just gonna make up.
I feel you. You might be onto something. I don't remember that one. I used to watch Knight Rider.
But do y'all remember them weird, like, just random shows that used to come on some Fridays, and it'd be featuring like Webster or somebody might show up
For sure.
to throw a ball at somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And then a dolphin might jump over his head.
Old school.
And then
that's
it cuts
old
to
school.
like the LA Raiders or some bullshit.
Yeah. That's old school. But one thing that stood out to me, I was on IG, and I think we talked about it last week, but I didn't mention it on the show. But Pete Rock put me on game about Juice. Sonny Carson was one of the guys in the interrogation room. I never knew that until Pete Rock
what?
on Juice.
Yeah,
he was the one
who
that was
played.
questioning Sam's, I believe.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that was actually fam that played Sonny Carson. I had no idea.
No idea.
So shout out to No Bad Idea.
Oh, wait a minute.
Shout out to Pete Rock.
One of our producers / researchers.
Oh.
Yes, New Edition was on Knight Rider. It was season 4, episode 11. They have a song called The Night Song.
Oh, no shit.
That
They
must
got
have been
the
on that
song?
album that
Came
was
out in
trash.
1982.
1982.
82.
Holy shit.
82.
Well, that
Dang.
sounds.
That sounded like
early.
before Knight Rider was even out.
That's what I was
Sound
about
like
to
before
say.
New Edition was out.
That was before
they
I was
was out.
born.
New
Was-
Edition was
was
out.
You know Brother Malcolm wasn't born.
So maybe I was watching reruns, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Candy Girl was
Sorry.
out in what, like 83,
I'm
wasn't it?
seeing something else that says it came out in 85. So either 85 or 82.
Yeah,
Had to be
80, it would be
85.
85.
85. Yeah, 85.
Candy
Thank
Girl
you,
was
Brother
like
Malcolm.
82, 83.
Yeah. Yeah. 'cause it
Appreciate
came
that.
out.
But yeah, I didn't know about Sonny Carson. I was asleep. Many times I seen Juice, I did not put that together. So if you ain't seen that, well, I know a lot of our subscribers and followers probably seen The Education of Sonny Carson. But if you have not, it's one of the most low budget, hood, bad acting, decent movies.
The acting in
that
that
you can
movie
find.
was phenomenal. I don't know.
Don't
what
do
you're
that,
talking about.
man.
I don't
Shot.
think I've ever seen that movie.
You need to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always
Get your skit
when
game
you
up.
when you go
Sucker
back,
think he-
sucker think he good, sucker think he good. Whoop,
Thank
hey
you,
boy.
Long. Thank you, Long.
People think when you go back and watch a lot of those movies from the 70s, if you look real close, you'll be like, wait a minute, that dude was on Sesame Street. No, and for real,
Now he in the Lords and the
no, really, the dude who played Willie Dynamite, Roscoe Orman, he was Gordon on Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, he was also the judge in New Jersey Drive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bar right there.
Yeah.
You get that one, Red August? I ain't know that one either.
Mike just be calling anything
That's
a
a
bar.
bar, man. I see you, Jay Moore. All right. Let's jump into this rundown, man. So Chance was on Chance the Rapper. We talked about his album a couple shows ago. I don't know. We've been in the list gate for so long I done forgot. But Chance was on the Breakfast Club, and I think it was Envy. He asked him about suggestions or advice that he would give to artists that are up and coming, or just people that are trying to make it. And I was a little confused by this, just because we've had experience with artists, and we've been artists at some point in terms of the process of coming up. And some of the stuff that he said, I'm like, I'll just read what he said. He said, don't sign a record label deal, a distribution deal, a publishing deal, a management deal. He said, hire the people that you want to work with you, pick your goals, and just go get them done. You'll connect with your fan base and make money. So basically he's, pitching just to control your own destiny, which is cool. I get it. But to me, there's a part that's missing there. Like when it comes to funding. Lone, I'm going to come to you first. Do you follow me on that when there may be something that's missing with that message? Because everybody doesn't have, the startup money to even try to hire somebody, unless you're going to hire somebody for free. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
But that's what he's kind of saying, though, I think. I
think it's
actually kind of agree with him.
Okay.
I think what the message that he's trying to say is, don't get stuck down the rabbit hole that is what a label can offer. They can offer you a shitty deal where they continually make money on the back end, and where you can end up never really making money because you have to pay everything back. The only one part of that that I think there's different levels to get to each one of those things. When you talk about level or label and publishing and management and all these other things, number one, you should never hire management until you need management.
I agree.
Only hire management until you really feel like you can't do all the work yourself, you know, because otherwise you are just wasting money, in my opinion. So as an up-and-coming artist, you have to be more stringent on how you spend your money, because you don't have that flexible income unless you are maybe Chance. I don't know what type of money he had coming, you know.
I think
knowing his family history, you know.
I think Chance had a starter kit that we'll just say that was left out of the equation in terms of that story.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I do think the team aspect is really, really important, and having people that'll really ride for you, and, you know, like the old idea of what a street team was, maybe. Yeah. I think that's important. Having people that will really, really rock with you, really spread your message. That's really important, and putting out a product that people really want to get behind. You know, it's like you have to be personable, you have to do these things, but you have to be consistent. I think, to your point, maybe it's a little misleading. To me, it's a little misleading only because, and again, this is just from what he said right there. I don't know what else he said.
Yeah.
But to me, there are a lot of other elements that might be a little bit more important than focusing on a label or focusing on these things. So maybe that's his point, I guess. So I don't know, I'm rambling, but
no, I follow you.
I kind of agree with what he's saying for the most part.
I guess the operative word is just when I immediately think, when I hear hire, it's like, okay, let me pay somebody too, you know. So to your point, maybe it could have been just, you know, work for hire for the homies. You never know. Right?
Yeah, I mean, but even management deals is the management gets paid based upon what you make.
Percentages,
right?
Yeah.
So, you know, but you don't need that if you can book your own shows, like until you're legitimately at the point to where you feel like you're being pulled.
Yeah.
Figure that shit out.
I can dig it. Jay Diff, you got anything on that?
It's almost easier said than done too. In the time that he came up in a big Chicago renaissance, so to speak. There was a lot of artists that were getting a lot of buzz on blogs and whatnot. And this was when the blog game was real big.
Yep.
So his first 2 albums, one of them, I think he was a senior in high school. The 10-day when he got suspended. He made an album when he got suspended from school. Put that mug out.
Well, a mixtape, I guess.
Mixtape, yeah. Because that was the age of everything's a mixtape.
Yep.
So he put that out, did very well. I mean, this is the point and click era. You can just log on. It's out on your favorite download site. Did very well. He followed it up with acid rap.
Yeah. That
did very well as well.
That was the one.
And like I said, it's easier said than done, especially considering his circumstances too. Everybody can't just make it off just that alone. Some people need somebody to push them.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have that strong worth ethic that's going to make them go that hard, even for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily think that's the end all be all of it, but he did drop some jewels as far as how to get your music out there so that it's able to be uploaded to like iTunes and all the streaming platforms, Google Play Music, Spotify. He also mentioned something else that would actually make your songs eligible for radio play as well. So him
BDS.
dropping those jewels
there you go.
was key. But as far as saying that you don't need anybody else to help you,
Was he saying it from an angle of he doesn't want anybody to help him, or more just industry people?
He was saying that he doesn't want, at this point in his career, it doesn't make any sense for him to sign any kind of deal of any kind, regardless of how much money somebody can offer him. Which is true in his case.
Yeah, that's true in his case.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not the truth in everybody else's case.
Yeah. I think you have a good point, though. His circumstances when he came up were very particular because, number one, he wasn't even the biggest name out of his camp.
He wasn't.
He
was like Save Money was his camp,
That's
and
a fact.
Vic Mensa was the one that was bubbling. Vic Mensa was the one that was doing everything.
Yep.
Chance just happened to
And
be
that
in the
was
right place at the
from
right
Kids
time.
these days.
Yes,
Yep.
which was an amazing group.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about how they did it, though, I mean, they were a crew. You know, they were a crew of the homies. They had videographers a part of them.
Huge collective.
You know, they were creatives in general. At least I think they had videographers a part of it. Maybe they didn't, but
it was a bunch of them though.
But even if you think of similar, let's take what Save Money probably was and kind of transfer it to what it is now. Like, are you guys familiar with Brockhampton?
Heard the name, but I'm not gonna say I'm not familiar.
So Brockhampton is like a big collective of artists out in, I think, L.A. And it's just a bunch of creatives, and they do their own videos, they do their own they do everything themselves. Just a bunch of kids, and they're huge. And they make Kevin Abstract is the main artist, or the main known artist from that crew. But
nice.
But it's kind of like a modern day version of what kind of Save Money and a lot of those kind of cliques were, Pivot Gang, maybe Chicago
Phony
as
people.
well. Yeah. There's a couple New York ones as well. I can't think of the name right now, but it's just crews. They're like the crews. They're self-sufficient. They can do all those things.
Joey Badass had a crew. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Pro Era.
Yeah. They had a crew.
ASAP gang.
ASAP. Yep. But even like the Underachievers and Flatbush Zombies and however they do theirs. I mean, I'm not sure what their group dynamics are because I'm not overly familiar with each individual member. But it's taken the big money label approach and saying we don't need that.
Yeah,
let's do it independent.
I'm not mad. I'm definitely not mad at that message. Like that's where it is. Like you see so many people that are successful. Look at Freddie Gibbs. Like he's doing well independent. Been independent for a while. I think Bandana was some type of deal with Empire. Was it? I don't remember what label it was. They actually did something with them.
Distribution,
yeah.
Probably through Empire.
But other than that, like he,
well, Chance was saying don't even get distribution deals.
Yeah, but to Lone's point,
But in 2019, what is a distribution deal?
That's true.
Right. That's a good question.
You used to have a major make sure all your CDs were in Target, then make sure you get enough cleans into Walmart.
Yeah.
Sam Goody. You had to have relationships with all of these brick and mortar stores, which by and large don't exist anymore. I remember back in the day when Jay-Z's The Dynasty album came out, and he flew up to Minnesota to sit down with the people from Target, to make sure he got the proper placement of his album in the store. That was something that the record company, probably paid for, and that was about relationships. That's something that's not needed anymore. A lot of these groups actually need to go back and look at their contracts because, they're still getting charged for, their pressing and distribution, and their albums are just being uploaded to the internet and to these streaming sites, and they're still charging them for jewel cases and inserts.
Right.
I've seen stories where the artists, they had to go back and say, hey, why are you still charging me this much per unit sold for something that doesn't even exist anymore? So I feel them on that because at this point, your distribution is your ability to know how to use the internet to your advantage.
Facts.
But as far as management is concerned, okay, Chance is he's a good kid, articulate and smart individual, but there are some people that I would not want them to speak for themselves when it comes to cutting certain deals because you got to know how to go in and talk to people. There's, and this is also another thing. Chance, when he goes to these radio stations, he's actually able to do these interviews and not come off as a complete idiot. There's a lot of what you're seeing a lot of, especially when you watch The Breakfast Club or you might watch, Big Boy's Neighborhood or Hot 97 is, the whole actual A&Ring and making sure people have a certain level of media training, that's completely out the door. So in 2019, he does make a good point about why should I sign up to have someone help me do all these things that I essentially can do myself because I know how to use the internet. All they're doing is hitting upload anyway. But
he didn't sound very bright though when he said that he was top 5 and that he wasn't number 5.
Now that right there, that's something totally different.
We can get into that in a minute.
We can go down that road later.
But it really does come down to the fact that I even think about I started in radio 20 years ago. Okay. And they used to spend so much money bringing the artists to the stations, taking program directors out to dinner, doing this, that, and the third. There's really no point now because by the time something gets to radio, it's already hot somewhere else.
Yeah.
Radio doesn't break music anymore.
And that's something I think that maybe, that's not widely known still. That
And he came up in that era.
People
where
are still
that didn't matter.
Yeah, people are still hoping, to get their song played on whatever your local radio station is, and then somebody from Def Jam is going to come along, and then all of a sudden you're at the MTV Awards, hanging out with Taylor Swift or whoever these people are. And, it's just, it doesn't happen like that anymore.
I'd love to get a survey to see, the age groups and just the difference in age groups of people that actually listen to the radio and how much. The last time I listened to the radio was when the system in my car was messed up or something. Like
I
normally
listen to the
I'm
radio
Spotify
every day,
out.
honestly.
Or I listen to sports talk. That's just me. I listen to sports talk.
I listen to Breakfast Club every day on the way to work.
Okay, see, I catch it on YouTube or whatever. But in terms of actual radio programming, like from the time that I had to get switch cards, whatever, and I got a chance to listen to programming, I hadn't listened to it in so long. And you see the cycle of songs. You see every 6 or 7.
It's the same. Even with satellite radio, you still get those same songs churned. You know what I'm saying? Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just that you get it without the commercial break.
Right.
You'll think I'm embellishing, but I literally have not listened to the radio since internet.
I believe you.
Like
No,
I literally haven't. Not in my car. I mean,
Yeah.
I listened to it in the 90s.
Knowing you, I believe you 100%. I believe you.
Just why?
Well-
Why do I need them to curate the same 5 songs and 7 songs over and over for me? When I
That's
can go
good.
and figure it out myself.
Like whenever Breakfast Club goes into a song, I'll switch to another station to hear somebody talk.
Exactly.
Well,
That's
because
talk show.
that's the content you like. Okay, the new Beyonce song. I'm just using her as an example. I don't need to wait for the radio to play it if I really want to hear it.
Nah,
There it is.
So the content, this was a crazy saying they had when I started out, and it's just as completely opposite now, or at least it should be. So anybody who's an aspiring jock, you need to listen to this, because they would try to push on you. The music is the star. You don't do as little as talking as possible. Now that was also because they didn't want you to shine too much, because then you could ask for more money. But that's neither here nor there. But at this point, if you are not a personality that somebody can actually care about outside of whatever songs you're playing, because nobody cares about the songs you're playing. They've already heard those songs, and they can go listen to them at their leisure. 20 years ago, if you wanted to watch a video, you had to wait for MTV or BET or VH1 to play it. Now
We know.
every video ever made is on YouTube.
right now.
Almost every song.
You say
Not now, but right now.
right now. You can go pull it up.
Every once in a while, there'll be something with rights or samples, and so something that you really love that should be streaming is not available. But the crazy thing about radio is the average person only listens 15 minutes a day. It's the statistic called TSL, time spent listening. And people are like, well, why do they play the same thing over and over? It's because for whatever 15 minutes you turn on that radio, you need to hear a hit. It needs to be a big hit.
Yep.
You need to, if you went to go get something to eat, when you got out of the car, the same song needs to be playing when you get back in the car.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate,
That's how it goes.
But
consumerism.
Especially if I remember a
Good point.
time when I'd be able to listen to the radio from 6 till 9 at night, waiting to tape songs off the radio, of course, because I'm old.
That's what I used to do too.
And you might hear 1 or 2 songs that were really big in that 3-hour period.
We had to
over and
wait.
over. Yeah,
Back
but
then
you
you had to wait.
wait. There was like once
I feel old.
Once I tell people the formula, that you can actually predict when a song is going to come on the radio.
I mean,
there was a
top
certain time
8.
you couldn't do it.
Yeah, they have like top 8 and top 10.
Yeah.
So you're hearing those 8 to 10 songs all day.
Yeah.
With another 10 songs that were great before that or around that, or still cool songs.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much getting about 20 song rotation a day on the radio.
You're new,
and that's a
powered,
stretch.
recurrent,
That's a stretch.
and you're gold.
But that's also why I feel like talk shows are taking over the radio. Well, that's why people are more inclined to listen to talk shows.
Or
because,
podcasts.
And podcast, most same thing, right? That's what this is. We're a podcast, but we're a talk show. You know what I mean?
It's also because we're older now, too.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is it's why people do steer more towards, maybe it's just me, but even in my 20s, when I did listen to the radio, it was when I was listening to, it
Some
wasn't
form of
for
talk.
music. It wasn't
Yeah,
for music.
right,
It was
right.
for like some sort of talk show that was going on. You know, like you say, you listen to the Breakfast Club, then you turn it. Like it's the same thing. You know,
right.
Maybe it is different for different people. I mean, I'm sure it is, but
you hit on a point that we were talking about. You know, prior to us coming on, just to kind of go back into the actual artist, the importance of relationships and, you know, taking advantage of opportunities or missing out on opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think that's important as well, to not get too far ahead of yourself when you're up and coming, to kind of have a reality check or make sure that
you're going back to the chance thing right now.
Yeah, okay. But you know, but just from a standpoint of just knowing, having a sense of awareness of where you are in your career, like that's hard sometimes. Like we get, you know, you get a taste of fame or a little bit of it, and it's like, oh my God, I'm on.
Yeah. And
then you lose a sense of reality, and sometimes you have to get brought back down. So you have also, you know, you've been on the artist trail as well as the producer trail. So kind of talk about the importance of, you know, maximizing the opportunities that you get and also building those relationships.
Well, I mean, even from that standpoint, right, as an artist, but also as somebody who is been an influencer for a very long time, as far as like sharing music and diving down that. Real quick shout. I mean, I was Treese was this last weekend, right? And so Slot was shouts to Slot A. He was in town, and so he stayed with me. So after we left of hanging out, all of us were hanging out. We came back to my place, and we were talking for like 2 hours. And he was talking about blessings and stuff like that, and understanding as an artist when certain things that essentially we don't realize until like big moments happen, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So if something great, all right, for example, Slot A just for those that don't know, he produced Jamila Wood's new album. What was it called? I forget. Legacy, right? So he produced that, was on tour with them. And we were just going back and forth off of just, not to throw all his business out there. So
he laced that album, by the way. Good job.
But we were just talking about the idea of, because I've had this happen to me before, where you reach a certain level and people around you are just like, oh, wow, that's so great. It's so amazing. But, the moment that you hit it, it's like, oh, now what?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like, so to that point that you were saying, like, I feel a lot of times as artists, as we're going through that path, if you've never hit that point yet, you don't know that that's coming sometimes.
Right.
And so you can overhype yourself and what your own value is to those around you, and you can cut out on some of your own blessings and start maybe putting your own self-worth a little bit too high for where you are. Mm-hmm. And so you can literally like turn gigs down.
Yeah.
Or say, no, I'm too big for this, or no, I don't need this right now. But where are you really at?
For you to turn anything down, you may not be at that spot.
And at the same time, what relationships are you compromising because you think that you're that big?
That's the part.
If I give you an opportunity to play at this show, right? And sure, you've done great things. You're like, you know what? I feel like I'm more valuable than what you're going to offer me. Cool. Fine. That's your decision, right? But the next time that I have something, that's going to be in the back of my mind as well. Right. So I'm going to say, well, all right, they're too big for this. This other person, maybe their circumstances have changed a little bit. Mm-hmm. You're going to talk yourself right out of valuable relationships by placing value in weird ways sometimes. So that's kind of related. I mean, it's funny you mentioned that, because that is kind of related to the chance thing a little bit.
Well, there's the old saying is the same people you see up on the way up are the same people you see on the way down. And it really is something you have to keep in mind when you're saying, oh no, I don't really have time for that. I know people who've stayed at home instead of going to get, maybe it's just a gig where you're on with some other people and it's only a couple $100, but you think that you're past that. And I'm not in a place where I'll turn down any money to do any hosting gig.
Get that paper now.
It's never to a point where I'd rather stay at home than to go get money. So I don't understand that mentality just yet.
Well, but I also think that there's a value statement in there, right? Because there's turning down a gig because it is just a shitty gig, right? And maybe it's a promoter that's whack, or maybe it's something that you don't want to associate yourself with. But maybe it's somebody who you actually respect, that you like working with, but they can't offer you as much money. You know, there's still value in building that relationship, and who knows where that's going to take you in the future. And that, to me, that's a very important thing that I think artists need to keep in the back of their mind as they grow through their local success into trying to transform that into global success, because those local people are the ones that are going to rock with you and push you to that next level a lot of times.
And sometimes you just need that practice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because performing is becoming a lost art. Like literally getting on stage and performing is becoming a lost art.
And this
because
is
everything is so just right now. They don't really care. And I know this from doing hip hop night.
Yeah.
You know how many people send me files with vocals all over them?
Probably 90%.
Or it'll be just one long track. And then they'll want me to stand up there with them.
That's
like, for what? What I'm going to stand up there for?
That's actually the
it's
greatest.
on one long track,
It's
brother.
the greatest thing to see Terry Press playing walk off stage.
Yeah, I'm out. Thank you. You made my job real easy.
They got it spaced out and everything. They got the breaks in there and all.
Hey, that's fine with me. I don't have to do anything right now. But people don't value the whole idea of even coming out to
It's the work.
to politic with other artists that can make them
it's
better.
all the work, man. It's just the work that goes into being an artist. It's like your job isn't done when you make music.
Nah.
You've got to do
That's
all
only a
this
part
other
of it.
stuff, especially if you're going to follow Chance's model.
Man.
Like you got to be the manager, the label, the security, you got to be everything, you know. And that's like even what you're saying, like with the music and that, like what I'm saying goes way beyond performing.
Yeah.
It's every interaction you have. It's interactions with fans.
And this is a
agree.
big difference. Like I said, from when I started in radio 20 years ago to seeing Chance hang out at the Breakfast Club, which is pretty much the largest platform in terrestrial radio right now, because they are syndicated and, you know, they are number one in that spot.
He hadn't been there in 4 years.
This is the crazy thing, though. Chance still only has one hit record. There's nothing that's being played off of
from his new album.
Are you talking about period?
Overall.
What record is that?
I mean, you don't
You don't
want
want no problems.
Yeah, that's the song everybody
Are you talking about
knows.
actual songs?
Actual song, like there are songs that people know and they enjoy, but when you're talking about
He talking about an
what
actual
songs
like
like charted,
hits.
Okay.
he's got one hit song. He's got the same amount of
He
hit
got some
songs.
Kanye shit.
Those are Kanye songs. You know, he's technically got, and 𝗀𝗲𝗄 𝗀𝗱 will say this out loud. He's like, I've been touring for the past 20 years. I have one hit song, and it's Get By. That's the only song that actually like charted.
Damn, that's a
extremely
good
high.
point.
That's a
But-
Kanye beat too, ain't it?
Yep.
But the crazy thing is, 20 years ago, if you didn't have a hit song or something that was bubbling, you were not being invited to the radio station.
At all.
Not to talk on a morning show. You already had to be, you know, have a song in damn near heavy rotation.
See, and that's the difference with Chance, though. That's
but
why
Chance
he's
is a
special,
star.
because
He's a star.
he's cool with Jay-Z and Beyonce. He's part of the school programs in Chicago as far as trying to make sure that these kids are getting a proper education.
Which is super dope.
He's actually rubbing elbows with people.
Yeah.
He sat down with President Obama.
Yep.
I mean, he's vocal more than just being out here in the music, and that's what gives him his proper thrust in order to kind of move above and keep doing it. Everybody else isn't focused on that.
That's
when
that
they
extra
asked
work.
Young Thug about a political question, what did he say?
He said, "I'm happy. I'm not worried about that. We got iced out. We having money.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not worried
Yeah.
about what's happening in Ferguson. You know what I'm saying?
He's not getting invited to have dinner with President Obama.
You can see how the interviews are. And let me pay some bills real quick. This is a good conversation. But shout out to all of our partners. Bringing down the band as always. Indie CD and Vinyl. They always lace us with wax. No Bad Ideas. We got some of their stuff placed around.
We'll see him.
Yeah, they'll see them.
Got book bags over here.
yeah.
Got hats over here.
Shout out, that book bag is fresh. Wallet with it
You
too.
wearing one right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I found this somewhere else. You know,
Oh, did
it's a
you?
plug.
Oh,
You
okay.
wear found hats?
Yeah, I found it somewhere. Yeah, it was in the alley.
the plugs he met.
Yeah.
Mike loves to say he's got no bad ideas gear.
Yeah, I do. They take care of us. Who am I missing? Dr. Coleman as well. Make sure you get your teeth right.
Yep.
And there's
Infinity.
Hey, listen. Printfinity got a good rollout coming out. They just laced us with some merch from our Neighborhood Nip remix. We got some of that merch. Yeah, I got that work right there. Shout out to
just randomly right here.
Yeah, so
look
at that.
Printfinity is responsible for that. So
Hey, that's nice.
yeah, that's a dope design. Shout out to the homie Micah that took care of
Micah
that.
Scott.
Man. Yep,
Yeah, Micah.
took care of that. And see my man Jay Diff, man. He's got his own business out here trying to get it. So he is offered his services as a sponsor. So we appreciate you,
And
bro.
also, No Bad Ideas. You can go to their website, type in at checkout New Old Heads, all caps, and get 20% off
Yep.
your
So
entire
you can
order.
wear one of those hats that Mike wears. All
Yeah, I
the time.
found mine in the alley, but it's cool though.
Yeah.
But I done lost the train of thought because I think one of y'all had a bar, but I had to get into. It's not a bar, right?
If it was really a bar, you probably shouldn't have cut
shouldn't have cut it
anybody out. So that bar
I
is
paid
dead.
them. I paid them bills.
Tell
man,
them about your grid,
The gun
though.
line.
Your how you had your clothes laid out for Treese
Oh man,
with your little
you know,
socks and
the socks was no bad idea. So I
your
was just
festival shoes.
well, you know, he mad. First of all, he mad because the flyness was fresh. But I was just taking care of showing love to the people that show us love, brother. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No bad ideas. Gave us
He had
some
a
nice
he had
merch.
an outfit grill. You
like
can check
it was
that
like
out
first
now
day
on
of school.
Instagram.
Listen, man.
Go to his Instagram page. I'm pretty
Product-
sure it's still there.
Product placement.
Give it a
man.
like.
Yeah, product placement.
So we can see more outfit grids from Mike.
Hey, man, they take care of us, man. Sometimes you gotta show love.
See, you're leaving out the fact that
Forget the outfit.
your outfit had nothing to do with the No Bad Ideas socks.
But the no bad idea socks were presented. That's all that mattered. It wasn't even about that. You mad about the fly knits? That's cool. They comfortable too.
okay. He had
All
a
right,
whole
man.
outfit grid.
Don't do
man.
that. You was mad because it
Yeah.
was folded right.
Nah, because you out here trying to be a
Influencer.
Instagram influencer and shit. Had his little outfit all, his first day of school outfit.
Yo, I'm gonna do the same thing for that Printfinity rollout too.
That's cool.
You know, oh, that's cool. Okay, it's cool. All right, man. Let's let's talk about a little music. Did anybody have anything else on the artist joint?
No,
to finish
I
up?
think
Jay
the
Moore.
whole thing with it used to be the industry is called radio and records, okay, and it's so different
Sucks.
now because Chance, I mean, he has a record out technically, but of course it's just something that you stream. He doesn't have a hit song off of it that's being played on Power 105.1 right now.
He's got a hit song off of it right now. The one featuring the baby.
But you know,
Oh
I think,
yeah,
but
but
I'm
still, I look.
That
I,
one go.
I look at the I looked at the BDS like that shit. It's not being played a lot.
But I think that's partly his point. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's just the thing. You can be
Who cares?
someone who is a success. Like, this is a great time to be an artist. It's not a great time to run a record label because if you're an artist and if somebody's giving you enough game about how to get your music out there, about how to market yourself, and
Right.
you don't need your publicity department is Instagram.
Yeah, he's not paying anybody. All that money, it doesn't matter how many streams he's getting on the net or radio.
Right.
All of the money funnels to him,
Right.
essentially. So it really balances itself out.
Yeah.
So you don't hear, like, the thing is when you see these young artists now and you're like, how are these guys making all this money? Is because you know what, they're not in the TLC deals. They're not getting those new edition deals where everybody's getting paid before the artist.
And they're touring.
Yeah.
Yep.
Touring.
You got to put
And
the work
merch.
in, man.
You gotta have that good merch. And Griselda will tell you that
Hey, man.
all day.
Yeah, these guys are nowhere near having songs on the radio and
Nah.
they're out here getting it.
Getting it. They releasing limited edition gear, limited edition vinyl press ups,
Yep.
CDs, and it sells out every single time. I just seen a post
And it's overcharged.
Benny made, and it's
And
going.
people are
matter.
happy to get it.
It
yeah.
is going.
Yeah.
Benny made a post that he can't even get a show in his own city. He can't get a show in his own city as popular as he is right now, based on how they perceive him or what they think is going to happen at a show.
I've been to a couple Griselda shows, one in Chicago and then one when they were here for Trees. And to your point, I'm just amazed that
It's crazy.
the merch flies. Like, it just goes. And to Lone's point, that stuff, the price point on those is, the snapbacks, what, $50 a pop or something like that? They're cold too. Like,
I mean, that's the key. You put a premium price on it.
yep.
Right.
Hell, Kanye was selling regular ass shirts at his tour
Regular.
for $50 a pop.
Facts.
So he made all that money on you buying a ticket, which was upwards of 60
At
to
least.
100 plus for your ticket. And this is somebody that's on the radio.
Yeah.
He's getting that money from the stadium show and from the merch.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting it from that physical CD anymore.
Yeah, like the Griselda movement is crazy, man. Like they picking up so much steam, and just to see it in person, like you said, to see everything and how it moves, like, hey, they put the work in. Lone said that a couple times. You know, they put the work in. New Era is based
put
out.
the work in as well, sir.
I like Lone's better.
I know.
New Era is based out of Buffalo, so they
ass dude.
they laced them. Those snapbacks is legit. New Era laced them. So, yeah, man, you got to put the work in. Just be, careful with the relationships, man.
And like everything that Lone says, and you'll do just fine.
Just fine. Shout out to Lone. All right.
You want to know?
All right, man. Let's talk about some music, shall we?
We've
do
been
it.
talking music the whole episode.
This is music.
Yep, this is a music podcast.
Yeah.
But how about albums? Can we do
Okay,
albums?
let's talk about some
Let's talk
albums.
about albums. How about that? Let's talk about an album. Guess that's music.
Album.
Did y'all listen to Saadiq,
EP.
man? Anybody?
I haven't had a chance yet. I
Saadiq.
mean,
I did.
Jimmy Lee, man.
Raphael
Saadiq
Saadiq.
is. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
That's a talented brother, man.
Oh yeah, I've heard a couple
He's
of the
one
singles.
of the best.
But yeah.
Man.
One of the best. And he's a very good curator for music on TV shows as well.
Yeah.
He did a song on Red Dead Redemption too.
Oh,
Did
word?
Yeah, there's a scene where you're riding back on a horse to the New Orleans fake town, and
Mm.
the entire Raphael Saadiq song. I was listening to it. He produced it though. And I was listening to it. I was like, wow, this music is great. What is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. and
Looked
then
it up and it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, the album is named after his brother that died of a heroin overdose. And
Gator.
man, like
I'm just playing.
I was gonna roll with that. It's cool, but the album is cold, man.
It is.
The music,
It's
Like-
cinematic. It's
Yeah.
like it's kind of putting you there.
therapeutic, man. Like
I mean-
he's a beast.
I mean, because I've never been disappointed with a. I mean, Instant Vintage is still
Talk that
Top
talk.
one of those records where, when you put people up on it, they're like, "Yo, when did this come out?" I'm
Yeah.
like, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was at the height of the neo soul era.
Yeah.
And it's probably a top 10 neo soul album.
And the crazy thing about that is, like, he got dropped from Interscope, and the next week he got nominated for 5 Grammys.
It's crazy.
But
that
it
album
just,
is incredible.
But
Yeah.
but it was, it just goes to show you, record companies kind of ain't shit.
I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
I mean,
And he's been fine ever since he was it's not like it not being on having that Interscope
He's
machine.
been putting other people on.
yeah.
He was what was the English chick that he was kind of instrumental in?
The rapper or
Nah, she was a soul
Joss
singer.
Stone.
Joss Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He produced some of her records.
There's another cat. He's got kind of like the they used to call it a conch back in the day. That's what it looked like. I can't remember his name, but he's helped him or been by his side through
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 different
Robin Thicke?
releases.
No.
Yep, that's him. Nah.
I hate him, man. Not Robert Thicke. But no, he's been everywhere, man. Like he had on the low, he had credits on Cranes in the Sky. Some lines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some production on there and write as a writer as well.
It's the dude that made that song. It's 2 a.m.
It's 2 a.m.
Some Michael McCall, something. Like
I know
that.
who you're talking about. I just cannot think of the dude's
Yeah.
name.
I have to look that one up. But
Oh,
nah,
and he
man.
also, he didn't have anything to do with it, but he introduced this dude on the BET Awards named Lucky Day.
Yeah, he's dope.
Okay.
And like he kind of went off script because he was so excited about this dude's music. And he's got a good project. The song Roll Some Mo. I've been trying to get people on that for a minute.
And then the Insecure placements on the
Oh,
Issa
yeah.
Rae show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He a beast, man. That Jimmy Lee is amazing.
All the work he's
though.
done with D'Angelo.
Yeah, I definitely would suggest that Jimmy Lee.
He's got a song
Wait a
on the
second,
movie that the shirt he's wearing right now. He goes back that far.
I
in the Hood.
definitely got confused.
What's that?
It was a D'Angelo song that was on Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But I was
okay.
thinking of them working together.
Yeah.
There we
So,
go.
yeah.
Oh, You Should Be Here.
You should
That
be
song
here.
is cold.
He produced Lady off of Brown Sugar. Yeah, so
I gotta look it up, see who produced that song.
He also said on I think it was Big Boy's neighborhood, where I think the Tonys, they're gonna try to get back together and do more like live instrumentation, not necessarily with the the vocals like the older stuff. So I'm for that.
Yeah.
Like if they decide to do that, I'm with that.
Yeah, because I remember
100%.
seeing that they was touring and it was coming here, and I had no idea that he didn't tour with them.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
and
kind of
it was-
amped up to go, and then I found out. I think Jay Moore might have been the one that told me.
yeah.
But you
Oh,
know that
man.
Raphael don't tour with them.
What you say?
I was like, shit, I guess I ain't going.
Yeah. No, because it was like some dude that if you squint, it looks like Raphael Saadiq.
Yeah.
And at one point they had like a cousin touring with him.
They pulled an En Vogue on us.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't say
Yeah,
that.
I'm
They
sorry.
did.
Somebody be like, "Oh, En Vogue's coming to town." I was like, "Is Dawn with him?"
Yeah.
They're like, "No." Well, the En Vogue's not really coming to town.
Yeah,
Wow.
the only group that can do that is New Edition.
New Edition.
That's
I
the
agree.
only group that can break up in segments
And
Yeah.
still,
and
and
come
still
holler
get
at
it
you,
in.
Yeah.
and it'll still be a good show because they're not about to replace. They cannot put nobody else in New Edition at this
all.
point. People were shitty when they put Johnny in there.
Yeah, and
Now,
that was like 35 years
Yeah,
ago.
Johnny's cool now. Everybody's finally like, all right, that's cool. But you ain't about to see New
Yeah,
Edition with nobody
but for some of these groups, look, you could just throw 5 black dudes out there. I just assume that's the group. Like I was like, oh yeah, Troop. Like I don't know the members of Troop like that.
Shit, Drew Hill
Don't do that.
is
man.
now was it not Mr. Player.
What?
The dudes from the group Player, which what was his name?
Static
Static Major
Major
was in.
Yeah.
Are now in Drew Hill.
Huh?
No,
Yes.
they only lost one member
Man,
because he
listen to
got
me.
saved.
Look
What?
that up.
Yeah, they one of the one dude, Woody. He decided he was gonna
Yeah.
do his thing for the Lord.
Now
which
Woody
got-
and then the taller dude, he left too.
there were no tall dudes in Drew Hill. I met
Yeah,
them.
the one that wore the
It was a-
glasses all the time. The other dark skinned dude, not the skinny dude.
There was Nokio, there was Jazz, the fat dude, and there was
Dang. Put
Look,
him out there like that.
I'm a big dude too. Like you
you leaving
good
it, see,
people.
you
I
leaving
met
the
him.
dude out.
Yeah, you leaving fam out that you're
and-
talking about.
Is Nokio, Cisco, Woody, and
That dude you ain't talking about.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Woody went to go preach. Nokio was real.
Jazz and
Jazz.
Jazz and Woody are the ones. Or is
Because
Jazz still in?
Jazz put
Ja-
out
I
like
think
his
Jazz
own
is still in
joint.
the
Like
little-
I think he out of there though.
Yeah. Rufus.
Rufus. That sound like the nigga that was performing with Tony. Rufus Saadiq, y'all.
It was Rufus Wiggins.
See, that's the old because I got Woody in there. Well, that's from
Woody.
So
Ladies
it's,
and gentlemen, Rufus Sadiq, y'all.
Oh, well, okay.
Singing It Never
Yeah,
Rains.
but yeah,
singing that one song.
5 steps.
Nah, what was the song?
Don't do that. Five steps.
What was the song that Mike Epps was singing?
Oh man.
Girl, you know I really love you. From the album, it's been
Right.
such a long time.
Oh man. You stupid. All right, man.
What else dropped, man? It was a big week in music. Yeah, Rapsody.
That's what I was just about to get to, brother. She dropped Eve, her 3rd studio album. I liked it, man. I like the names of the tracks. I like how she sequenced. The intro was banging. Good production. Eric G showed out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ninth showed out.
Carolinas was strong last week.
Queen Latifah killed the feature.
She bodied it.
Yeah, she did.
You know what I'm saying? It was a good Erykah Badu flip on there, on one of those.
Nina
I
Simone
hope you
flip.
catch that one. That one is cold.
The Nina
Yeah.
Simone flip. The what's the name from Genesis?
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins
Yeah.
flip.
I can feel it.
That's on the 𝗏𝗄 track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was,
Did you catch that one? Because I did as soon as it played. I was like, okay.
hey, I'm telling you, man, like this one,
the Denise Williams flip at the end. Yeah.
it was some chopping and some, some digging going on in terms of the production and the samples. I was impressed though, man. I just top to bottom, I listened to it maybe 2 or 3 times straight through. I like it. like I'm in. Like I'm very impressed with this joint. I know
I like it too. I didn't get to run it as much as I wanted to. I'm about 1 1/4 listen.
Okay.
Because I listened to it when it first dropped, but it was like a lot of stuff dropping on Friday, and obviously the weekend was pretty busy. But it sounded pretty decent to me. You know, I don't know if it's as good as, and I hate to be that dude to say that,
go ahead,
because I haven't really listened to it like I should have listened to it. But it's not as good as her last project that came out.
Layla's Wisdom.
Layla's Wisdom, yeah.
I would
I have to go back and revisit Layla's Wisdom.
I would challenge you to listen to it a couple more
I
times.
am. That's why I'm saying
I
don't want to stand on that just yet. But from just first listen, I think it is one of those albums you gotta really sit with it and vibe.
Yeah, I liked it too. Not just to pick it. I liked it. There were a couple joints on there where the production was a little, I don't know. I'd listen to it by singles and not in succession. So I need to go back and listen to it as a whole collectively.
Yep.
I liked what I heard, but I'm curious. I'm curious personally how it's going to sound as a collective experience all the way front to back. Is it that type of album?
Yes.
Yes.
It's very much that type. So. That's part of why I loved it so much, is because it's not just a collection of singles. It flows together as a complete.
Kind of like a story.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, because like even when the song with the Genius, and I guess that's D'Angelo with the
it is
with the monster compression on his voice.
Thank you.
But you know, it's just one of those records where, like, you know, because you still hear people have those conversations and say, well, you know, it's just hard for me to listen to female MCs, which is not fair, you know. And I'm like, well, then there's this. Have you listened to this? You know, you know, are you just talking about, you know, what Jermaine Dupri was talking about?
Right.
Let's not get into that at all.
Yeah.
But are you really, if you're really into lyrics and people who put craftsmanship into being an MC, then, you know, for you to say, well, I can't get into Rapsody because it's a woman, that's your problem.
Facts.
I
Missy
love
dropped too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I love this record, and and see, there's almost like this cultural war between the people who want to say, okay, well, see, this is what we should listen to instead of Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. And if you listen to what Rapsody says, she's like, look, it's basically, I'm not looking down on anybody. Everybody's got their lane and their thing to do. You know, it just maybe because you're into this, maybe you like me a little bit more. There are people who probably think that, you know, Rapsody's corny because she doesn't rap like Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi, and that's fine. But, you know what I'm saying? There doesn't have to be this crazy culture war every time, you know. I mean, the same thing happened when Lauryn Hill dropped, because, you know, she was like the polar opposite of what was happening with, you know, Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown. And so there's always going to be this thing, but it's not necessary in this era. If you like it, support it. Don't use it as some sort of platform for you to down something else, because I don't have time to spend that energy downing other things when there's so many things out here that I could prop up that I like.
Yeah. Listen to what you want to listen to.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the good stuff is gonna rise to the top. All the other shit's gonna settle. You know what I'm saying? I say that all the time to like my nephews and them, because like you have to kind of take the stuff that's out now and picture yourself listening to it 10, 20 years from now. Right. It's cool to have fun with whatever you want to have fun with.
Sure.
But as far as like consuming music to the point where you don't mess with this because that's boring. It's gonna be a time when that boring is what makes you make it through the day,
right?
And you ain't trying to party up all the time. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. There's time, space for everything.
Did I miss anything release wise? Is there anything?
Yeah, you definitely did.
I didn't. These are the only two that I listened to, so I don't want to sit up here and lie.
It was a couple weeks ago.
Young Jeezy came out.
I should listen to the Jeezy.
You haven't?
Yeah. How is it?
About halfway.
I haven't got through there yet.
Okay.
I haven't listened either.
Okay.
Haven't made it through there.
Mixed
Missy,
reviews, I'm seeing.
Yeah, there are mixed reviews. I'm hearing a lot of strong left-sided and strong right-sided as far as it being good or bad. But I don't know. I haven't really gave it a fair shake, so I can't say yay or nay on that.
Missy's project was only like 4 tracks, right?
Yeah,
Plus
4 tracks and
acapella.
acapella.
Oh, there's
And I knew
acapella?
that because you had said that it was, she was dropping another one that night.
I thought it was, but it was just the 4 tracks.
Yeah, it was just them 4 tracks.
She had a visual for one of them, and she still pays attention to detail on those visuals. Like everything is gonna be over the top and just well done. You know what I'm saying? So
Which nobody does anymore.
Yeah,
Because
like-
people don't spend that kind of money on videos.
yeah, Missy has always been. I put her up there. It's between her and like Busta. To me, like those were the 2 people that
Videos,
visually that were just always super creative. So it was good to see her get back into that bag visually. The songs was cool. There was one, I can't remember the name of it. One of them I like more than maybe the other 2 or 3, but I'd be curious to see if she wants to drop what I thought she was gonna drop. I must have misread, but
she's
gonna drop
having
a
a
full
good year.
project.
She just got inducted into the Songwriting Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That is
Got the Michael Jackson Vanguard Award.
Yeah.
at the MTV Awards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they took Michael Jackson's name off of it, but still,
Oh, word.
Missy still said Michael Jackson. So as far as I'm concerned, it was the Michael Jackson Vanguard Award.
Good for her. Yeah, Missy. I'm glad she's starting to get her. Just do like she's
I
been
think
a beast
Missy
for a
has,
long time.
in my opinion, at least from where I see it, she's always gotten recognition.
You think so? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever fronted on Missy.
I would hope not. Because she's
She got the
pioneer.
highest rank of any woman on our list.
Yeah.
Oh, word! I don't. Listgate was crazy.
I mean, as a collective.
Yeah. So Missy's OG.
Yeah.
For sure.
Snow Allegra, I don't know if you're up on her, but she's
Yeah,
kind of
she dropped something.
contemporary R&B type, smooth, vibey.
Okay.
Yeah, she dropped something that's pretty good. Who else dropped?
Dreamville music video dropped for was a track that featured Mez and Loot and Omen and somebody else. It was a pretty cool video. It was off the Dreamville project.
I think one of the Patreons actually brought to my attention that Trey the Truth dropped an album.
He
Oh,
did.
word.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but yeah, I
I
haven't.
fool with Trey the Truth.
I had a chance to listen to that ASAP Ferg.
What you think?
It was a short album, but actually I think that's great.
Club Bangers.
Yeah, I mean Floor Seats. Let's see, he's got several joints on there. He's got a song with ASAP Rocky on it that's got a crazy, almost like a flip of Get At Me Dog. But I like Ferg's energy, and like I said, it was a quick listen, but it was good. I don't, some people, everybody's into like putting 35 tracks on an album. This was a good one. I like this Ferg project.
Jadena 85 to Africa.
Yeah, I haven't heard it, but I heard
That's
it's really
just
good.
dope.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, buddy.
People talking about that one. I need to get.
I actually
that
played
around.
one of the songs off of that on my tree set.
Oh,
Okay,
word.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, Fee Ray dropped his More Than Enough.
Word. Okay.
Crazy,
Yeah, it's just
crazy.
dope.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I have not heard that.
I need
yet.
to check
yeah,
that
man,
out.
it's available on all streaming. So,
Sea Lunch dropped Step Bros
Step
too.
Brothers.
yes,
Yep.
Yeah.
So
They
those last two are
snuck that in on
Indianapolis.
Sunday.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
I knew
like
it. I
that.
knew another one was coming when they dropped the
Well, Purnell told
commercial
me.
break.
Yeah.
Well, he told me that they had something coming. So
I knew
was
it
coming.
when Harry sent me the first one. I listened to it. I was like, I feel like there's something else that y'all about to have jump off. And he pretty much was like, you might be right.
Harry Otaku.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
what's up, man. That's what's up. So does
Good
anybody,
week for music.
for sure. Does anybody have anything? Jay Moore, do your thing. Tell the people where you're gonna be. Our Indianapolis people, if you want to, before we get out of here.
Yeah. If you're in Indianapolis or traveling to Indianapolis this Thursday, we got Wine After Work at the Red Room.
Indeed.
Then, of course, I'll be at Tiki Bob's, and Saturday night I'll be at the Casbah Broad Ripple, and of course, every Tuesday night at Coach's Tavern with DJ Metronome.
Boom.
That's what's up. Make sure you guys go to the Bringing Down the Band YouTube page as well. Subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell for the notifications. Also, check out our Patreon site, Patreon /New Old Heads. We always have some cool giveaways and neat things in there.
We got hip hop night this week too.
Thank you, sir.
Is it this week?
Yeah,
is that this week?
This Friday, hip hop night at
Square Cat.
Word.
Okay.
Word. I think that's going to do it for episode 148. As always, we appreciate the love and support. Again, make sure y'all go out there, subscribe, hit those bells for notification. We really appreciate it. We're trying to grow the brand. And we will see y'all next